First 3 months of my Pokemon draft adventure, and holy shit, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm gonna say I have some real good achievements in these first 3 months. I'm very proud of myself. So, I have joined quite a lot of leagues within 3 months, and I'm gonna go over them in chronological order. I'm pretty sure this is chronological. Maybe some things are a bit off. It's fine. So, first league. So, well, actually, okay, let me get some even older draft stuff because there's technically a chapter before WCB. Oh damn, I was actually searching through and I realized I battled Donmits before. That was not, with my knowledge right now, that's a really good player. Damn. I did not win, by the way. Alright, let's go back to even older. So how old was this? 5 months ago. And I assume it was like 5 to 6 months ago then when GG Inc. actually started, because that's week 3. So GG Inc. was technically my first ever draft league. Now I've been acquaintance with Mr. Agency. Some of you might know his name. Not the agency, not Blunder or whatever the hell's going on there. Someone named Agency, and they got me into. I've said that I like Draft League ever since I was young. My first ever time watching Draft League was PokeMMD's APA semifinals game, which was a long time ago. That was 5 to 6 years ago, and I think I watched it around when it came out, I believe. So I remember the reason I clicked on that video was because Gastrodon was on the thumbnail, and I'm like, I like Gastrodon. Let's click on that. Let's watch it. And then I watched the video, and I'm like, this isn't just a normal battle. Stuff is happening here. So I pretty quickly grasped what a draft league is and how it works very quickly. I was like 10 years old. I'm 16 now. Gastrodon was on the thumbnail. Draft league starts happening. It intrigues me, so I go back and watch the rest of the APA. Then I start searching for his other draft leagues. I watch all of those, and immediately I'm in love with draft leagues format, and I always have been. I've been playing draft league with myself for so long. So what I would do, because I wasn't sure how to find online stuff. I barely knew how Discord worked for a long time. So how I would do draft leagues with myself, because I really wanted to play draft league. So I would just play with myself. I would get a wheel of names, put 16 cartoon characters or something, which, by the way, I still do that. I still do that sometimes. And then I'll draft the Pokemon myself. I represent all 16 coaches, and I'd have them battle every week. And I still do that sometimes. You'd have Peter Griffin fighting Twilight Sparkle, or something like that. And then it'd be incredible. It was so much fun, and it still sometimes is. Which some of you might be confused. Oh, I'm getting pinged. I'm such a busy man now. So GGA was my first ever actual draft league because I knew Agency for a little bit. I won't go into my origin story with Agency. I don't want to go into those realms. It's not something stupid. It's not like he found me in a dark alley or something. I wasn't caught in the dumpster or whatever. I wasn't caught masturbating and he was like, hey, we found each other on Pornhub or whatever. No. It's not that. But he told me, hey, here's a draft league. So we got a couple of buddies in. So Agency actually knew, so a few people that Agency knew were already quite affiliated with Draft League. Agency, Fierce Flamethrower, and Void of Darkness, which to this day, they're still like my main go-to draft partners, buddy chaps. And then we also had a bunch of friends. Oh my god, more pings. Oh, would you look at that? It's actually Void of Darkness pinging me. Wonderful. Alright, we turned on the Do Not Disturb. So, the friends we invited were someone named Human, a friend named Genway, a friend named AR, who on Discord they're known as the Killer of Impersonators, and I believe there might have been others. Oh yeah, there's another person who's very affiliated with Draft League, but I only knew his name. I never really knew him personally, but I knew his name. His name is Volt Ninja. Really good player. Like, you can tell they're a good player because they went for like quite a lot in the DDD team tour. What was it, 10k points or something? 10k or something, which is a lot. So in GG Inc., you can tell these drafts are not the best. Now looking back, I'm not horribly upset with these. Like, if I had to use the bottom two, I'd still be fine. The top one sucks. Holy shit, this one is so bad. So most of my draft league knowledge, actually pretty much all of it, pretty much all came from PokeMD. I've been watching all of the draft content ever since the start. So I was you can tell because I had like Pecharunt, and around this time was the P4G draft. So I was very much in the Pecharunt mood. And I will say Pecharunt disappointed me throughout the entire league. Which I think is a sign, which I think that's a learning experience there. That's a good learning experience. Don't be too hasty with the stuff. I will say, I was very, Ogerpon Heartflame here, I very much fell in love with Ogerpon Heartflame immediately. Or Ogerpon as a whole. Ogerpon is one of my favorite draft Pokemon, except Teal Ogerpon. Fuck Teal Ogerpon. The Sword and Shield draft is actually pretty nice. I actually really like this Sword and Shield draft. I would gladly use it again. It's just, I definitely use it better than I did last time. I don't think I was as good at using Landorus Therian at all. In general, I think most of the high tier grounds are boring to play with. My favorite one is absolutely Garchomp. And then the Usum draft, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they legalized Aegislash, and I was like 5th pick in GG Inc. Usum, so I was able to get 5th pick Aegislash or something. It was 16 player draft, by the way, 16 player, painful, I know. And also you see Mega Aerodactyl. Mega Aerodactyl is, in my opinion, one of the most overhated draft Pokemon. I love this thing. It definitely put in work in GG Inc. for me. I loved it. And also, you notice there's a few Pokemon that are repeated there. Dragalge and Thundurus Therian. Now, Dragalge, I just figured Dragalge fit on both of them. I mean, I like Dragalge. I actually really, really like it. But I haven't got a chance to use it again. I do want to, though. I want to... All of the GG Inc. Pokemon, I really want to give another chance. Well, almost all. I don't really care about giving Sandslash or something another chance, or Granbull. But almost every other Pokemon, I've wanted to give another shot. Because GG Inc., I was still very much not good. Dragalge... I mean, I like it. But the other one, Thundurus Therian, is my favorite draft Pokemon of all time. And you can see that love started very early. Now, you might smell a little bit more PokeMD. It's true. I was very much influenced. But I still love Thundurus Therian. And for those old viewers of PokeMD, you might also see the Vanillux over there. His favorite draft Pokemon, at least back in Sword and Shield, was Vanillux. I love this thing as well. Vanillux is so good for so few points. If there is a time I can grab a cheap Vanillux, I will. And Vanillux usually is pretty cheap. So I will gladly grab Vanillux whenever I can. And I have grabbed Vanillux again at some point. And it definitely put in work. It put in work in the GG Inc. as well. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is actually the only format where I won battles. I went 0-2, 0-2, and 2-0, which is pretty funny. Usum is the one I expected to go 0-2 in. But Usum, I actually went 2-0. So first draft league experience also, you might see that record it's not good. I didn't do great, which is unfortunate. But hey, I did win. It went as Usum Sword and Shield SV, Usum Sword and Shield SV. So technically, I won my first ever Usum league. I mean, won my first ever draft battle. I'm still a moderator in GG Inc. because I'm a YouTuber. I was actually made a moderator quite early. I don't do too much moderating. I remember I typed in like 90% of the picks in the doc though. That's actually a lot of moderating. And I'll gladly do more. They just need to ring me up. They haven't ringed me up in a little while. Now GG Inc. is a pretty significant league. You got big people like Seabad joining and stuff. Or not Seabad, 6 Foot Hacks. Good big names basically. Mount has joined and stuff. It's pretty cool, but they don't really. I don't know if they need me again. I mean, I'll gladly help again. So GGing first experience, and then I don't do draft for a little while because I really wanted to. I was yearning draft league throughout the like 1-2 month period of no draft league. So me and a little friend, Hyber, she and I decided to let's look for some draft leagues for fun, just for the hell of it. And we found WCB. That's where we found the Wave Crash Battlers. We joined. It seems pretty small and quiet in there, but hey, it's fun. And the only person that actually made it in, we got a few friends in. We got a few friends to sign up, but the only people that made it in were me, someone named Leif, and someone named Elio Shad, or Made Up by Men, as we call him. So only the three of us made it in. Me and Maiden were in the same division. Leif was in another division. And I feel like WCB, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my best ever draft, besides a pretty recent one. This, on the power ranking scale, goes pretty high. You'll see Vanillux there again. WCB has actually just ended. It ended today. I was waiting for WCB finals to end before I made this retrospective video. You can see I went 7-1 in the regular season, and in the playoffs I made it to the finals. I did lose in the finals. It is a brutal matchup against Megalopony Darkrai Golden Goat. Cut me some slack, okay? That matchup is painful. But this draft league, I'm very, very proud of how I did. Now, WCB seems to be pretty mickey. But I can still be happy with my performance, goddammit. Like, holy. I did not bring Smeargle once, but every other Pokemon had come. Vanillux was really nice in like the halfway to 80% part of the league. How do you describe that? You know what I mean. And then I definitely fell in love with some Pokemon in this league, like Electros. Electros, I had heard Agency talk about Electros being really good before, and I was like, huh, why would this Pokemon be good? Well, it's proven it to me. It's a very nice early game utility Pokemon. It's a pivot. For so few points, it's able to actually do a lot, and I really like what it does. I really like what it provides to a team. I intend to get it again because the 2 leagues that have Electros are ending soon. And yes, I did get Electros in 2 leagues. The other one being the Blitz Battlers League. Now, Blitz Battlers League is significantly bigger than WCB. There's actual people that are known, for example, like J. Ricky is in there, for example. There's also the owner, Blitz, who Blitz is as far as I can tell, Blitz is a known name, I think. He made a GIF of me that's circulating everywhere right now, and I have nothing to do with that GIF, other than the fact that it's literally me in that GIF. If you want to search the GIF, it's called Terrors or Crash Out. Not sure if it actually works finding it, though. I tried, it doesn't seem to work. I will say, I was very not happy with my Blitz Battles League draft. I had enlisted help, mostly from Fierce Flamethrower for these. Like, the WCB draft, I vividly remember us frantically trying to find the 5th pick and settling on an expensive Iron Moth, which was 15 points. We were it was a frantic thing. We were like, what the hell do I get, dude? And we settled on Iron Moth. Iron Moth throughout the season wasn't amazing, but it had some really good early matchups. Specifying matchups, not actually performing. It missed the Meteor Beam and everything. It got cucked by an Assault Vest Drapion in week 2, but whatever. So Blitz Battles League, I started this about 1 week after WCB. I started going to all the draft leagues. Everywhere. I went everywhere. I was getting around. And I very much was reluctant to get Electros again. I'm like, dude, this Pokemon can't be this good. It was. It was in the Blitz Battles League as well. Dude, this Pokemon can't be this good. Why were we getting Electros? So, I should probably give my opinions on every single Pokemon, actually. We'll skip the GG Inc. ones. I was way too early. I was definitely way too early in my draft career to fully talk about these Pokemon. The only one I will... Some of these are significant, however. Tornadus-Therian and Urshifu, Ogerpon Heartflame, and Thundurus-Therian, I think, are the most significant ones from the GG Inc. experience. And I guess Mega Aerodactyl. I already knew I'd like Vanillux. Like, even if I never used Vanillux before, I'd still want to get it. So let's go over every Pokemon. Mega Scizor, very reliable. Nothing crazy interesting about it. It's just very reliable. It's very flexible. It can do a lot of things. It's very easy. Scizor, great Mega. Meowscarada, one of the best draft Pokemon. Very good speed tier. It was my fastest Pokemon. A very good fast pivot. And I was actually confused. I was like, why am I not bringing Meowscarada to my first 2 weeks? Which I didn't, by the way. And I brought it to every other battle after that. It should be coming to every week normally. Meowscarada is an obviously amazing Pokemon. Garchomp, this league is kind of where I started thinking that Garchomp was my favorite ground type to use in draft. Favorite high tier ground type. Ground is very important. I have heard agencies say that every draft should be a high tier ground type. You shouldn't be getting a lower tier one if you can avoid it. So stuff like Sandaconda or Piloswine, Mudsdale, Palosand, Steelix, those stuff try not to get. Try to get the high tier ones like Kinglu, Garchomp, Landorus, Darien. Sandy Shocks if you can, I guess. If you have to. I really want to use Sandy Shocks. That's probably that might be my top priority Pokemon to get in the next league. Which the next league is going to be the Smogon Seasonal. Which is that's pretty huge, and I have to do well in that one. I have to. But back to this, Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini was very fun in this. I never knew if I would like. I had no clue what to expect from Feeny because it's the type of mon that I'm always scared to use. These kind of bulky Pokemon that are really good, but they can't heal, they always scare me because it feels like because they're such high value. I think okay, I gotta keep this thing healthy. I gotta preserve this thing. This thing gotta stay alive, and it always scares me. But Tapu Fini actually was able to do it because I was using Draining Kiss, which very much worked. And when I didn't use Draining Kiss, Tapu Fini was still fine. It was still very. It did its job. It's an amazing Pokemon. I loved it. Which also that description of Tapu Fini also fits Uxie and Electros. Electros, it didn't hamper it too much because it was meant to be a utility. It crippled stuff. I actually made use of Thunder Wave more than once, which was very cool. Iron Moth was slightly disappointing. But like Iron Moth without Terra isn't amazing, which I know I have the knowledge now. I'm learning very quickly. Miss Magius, this league was lower tier Terra, which I realized I never explained that. My two Terra counter were Miss Magius and Electros. I did not make use of Electros much with Terra, but Miss Magius I did. And it was the Pokemon that I was by far the most excited to use in this whole league. I was super excited to use Miss Magius. Holy shit, it flopped. Well, the flop was mostly my fault. I can't deny that. I definitely could have used Miss Magius better. I literally misclicked with Miss Magius more than once. And I mean, I have no regrets getting Miss Magius. I definitely want to get it again in lower tier Terra. I loved I loved prepping with Miss Magius at least. It didn't do much in the playoffs. It came into quarterfinals, and it actually got quite a few kills in the quarterfinals, but by then, when I sent it in, I already was like guaranteed a win basically, unless I sacrifice every mon intentionally. Uxie was a Pokemon that I knew to be good, so I was like, okay. I think that I like to describe Uxie as the Pokemon. If you understand Uxie's worth, its value in draft, you've already passed the baseline of basic knowledge and stuff. We're gonna skip Electros. I already talked about that a little bit. Vanilla's fun, and Smeargle I didn't get to use. I didn't use Smeargle throughout the season, but Smeargle definitely did teach me something. Well, it didn't teach me anything, but it represents some knowledge I had early on. Get a Sticky Webber if you can for a low tier, because that's probably the most value you're gonna get out of those tiny little points. Probably. This was I actually did some trades with this. Initially, I believe I had Rotom Wash, Hatterene, and something. I don't fully remember what I had. I think it was just Rotom Wash and Hatterene. And I traded it for a Tapu Fini Uxie. I think that's what I did. I don't actually fully remember. And then maybe I had a different thing other than the Electros. I don't know. But I ended up trading those for Fini, Uxie, Electros, which I think was an amazing decision. Although, it does mean I didn't get a chance to use Hatterene, which I do want to get a chance. I do want to use Hatterene once. So WCB, phenomenal. Gonna be playing in the next season for sure. Next up, the Blitz Battlers League. So, Tornadus Therian, Ting-Lu. Okay, let's just go by one by one. So, Tornadus Therian. This is an important. Tornadus Therian and Urshifu. These two are important in this because there's a little bit of a storyline. Because these two were absolute frauds in the GG Inc. And I was like, are we really gonna get these again, dude? I really didn't want to get Tornadus Therian in Blues Battle League. I was telling Fierce, dude, can we not? Can we get something cooler? And he said, nah, bro, this thing's broken. Get it. So I was like, fuck, fine. Tornadus Therian. Holy shit, you... I have to show you guys. Check that out. 16 kills. It only says 7 games played. And you'll see it here, it's 5-2 instead of like 5-3 or 6-2. It's because I ended up forfeiting 1 week. So I decided not to count that. My record's technically 5-3. It should have been 6-1, by the way. I forgot Drizzle week 7. I forgot Drizzle week 2 as well, but I still managed to win week 2. There was a bloody Terra and Namorous on the opposing screen. Which you'll notice this team doesn't have a Fairy Resist, which we knew going into this. I was like, okay, dude, we lose to Fairy and Dragon. So, are you sure we shouldn't get a Fairy type? And he said, nah, bro, get the Electros. So we grabbed the Electros. But let's go over the other Pokemon. Tornadus Therian. Very much not a fraud. This Pokemon proved its worth in this league. It redeemed itself for sure. Ting-Lu, however, you'll see it only came 3 times because I'm not a big fan of Ting-Lu. If the earlier description of Tapu Fini, I think Ting-Lu fits that bill. And it's probably the worst candidate of that one. Because holy... I hate this thing. I don't want to use Tinglu ever again. I don't want to. I really don't. Urshifu sadly has still been frauding, but I keep getting recent matchups that really look like Urshifu can do stuff. Like in my quarterfinals, in my playoffs qualifier battle, there was like the playoffs and the Blitz battles really got weird. Here, I'll just show them on screen really quickly for you guys. You can pause or something. Archaladon, I was pretty excited to use Archaladon. I was aware that it was a fake steal. I knew that much. I was because no fairy resist and everything, no ice resist. But I was still excited to use it, and getting Archaladon definitely leaned the team more towards Rain. We already had Tornado Starion, we had Urshifu, this was going to be, and we were likely going to change this into a Rain team. And this is also where Fierce Flamethrower gave me some wisdom. Get your Rain Core late. Because it's unlikely that someone else takes the Rain Core. So get the Rain Core late, which I did. You can see over there that I did get my Rain Core late. Next Pokemon was Ogerpon Cornerstone. I still remember me typing on my phone saying, hey, should we get Ogerpon Heartflame? Because I was quite a big fan of Ogerpon Heartflame after GGing. I remember the happiness I had using it. I remember me taking off my shoes, putting down my bag, walking home, and then Ogerpon, and then him being like, dude, just get Ogerpon Cornerstone. Which, like, okay, fair. I mean, I was aware that I pretty much knew he would say that because we were intending to make it a Rain team. So the picks became a little bit strange after this. Oh yeah, I haven't even gotten into how I felt about Archaladon or Ogerpon. Archaladon was pretty okay. I did not mind it. I was a little bit worried about using it because again, it fits that bill of can't heal but high value bulky. But it was okay. It was okay. It was fine. Nothing crazy. The Blitz Battlers League still is not over. Maybe Archaladon will get a 6-0 sweep or something. This is not leaking anything. Ogerpon Cornerstone. Yeah, no, I'm bluffing. I love this thing. Again, this is another league that really just cemented Ogerpon as one of my favorite Pokemon to use in draft. And I literally use the same set every week. Sword Dance. 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 And this will apply to every single Ogerpon. Except for one that we'll get to later, but that one's a special case. And no, it's not Teal Ogerpon. I haven't drafted that yet, and I don't want to. So yeah, Cornerstone Ogerpon. I love this Pokemon. Definitely one of my favorites to use in all of draft. Bramblegast. Bramblegast was very curious to me. So, at this time, I was still one of those people. I don't know if this is an actual group of people, but this was my thought process. I was thinking Bramblegast sucked. Its stats to me sucked. I was like, why the hell is this thing such a high tier? Clearly, I haven't actually used Bramblegast at that point, because this Pokemon was pretty good and pretty good. So far, I've done 10 real battles of Blitz Battles League, and Bramblegast only came to 3 of them, but it was pretty solid. It did. I described it in week 2 as Bramblegast did exactly what I needed it to, and that was fine. After that was it came in week 6, which was my losing week. The losing week was pretty much impossible. It was an Iron Bundle matchup. There was nothing I could do. It was okay. It's not Bramblegast's fault at all. Bramblegast, it didn't do its job, but no one did. Let's be real. No one did their job. And then it came finally in my qualifiers battle. Well, I describe it as qualifiers. It's more of a playoffs round 1 or something. And that battle, Bramblegast did incredible. I brought a really bulky one to deal with an Iron Hands and Donphan. And you know what it dealt with instead? Zarude. And I dropped Skitter Smack because I thought my opponent would predict Skitter Smack. They did not. But Bramblegast was pretty okay throughout the season. And for such cheap, I liked it. And what surprised me was when I got Bramblegast, people were like, dude, you sniped me. And I'm like, brother, you have a Dragapult. What do you mean I sniped you? You wanted Bramblegast? And some other guy also wanted it. I'm like, why do you guys want Bramblegast? Because at the time I was like, this thing sucks. I guess it doesn't. I liked it. We already described the Electros. It was a very nice Pokemon. Pelipper is really lame in draft. It's Rain. It's just a Rain Catalyst. It does nothing else. Barraskewda, though. Barraskewda I was definitely okay with. It was a lot more... For such an offensive Pokemon, for such a linear one, it was a lot more flexible than I expected. Item choice was flexible. Moveset was flexible. EV spreads were flexible sometimes. But The play was pretty simple, but hey, I'm okay with it. These kind of limited turn styles really make me uncomfortable. I don't enjoy using those normally. But Rain ended up being okay, and I did not use Limit once. How do I feel throughout the season? It was a bit of a wild season towards the end of toward the end of the regular season. Things got hectic, but I'm very much not mad at throughout the regular season. I went basically 6-1, and week 8 I didn't get to do my battle. Could have been 7-1, could have been 6-2. Who knows? It was a bit of a tough matchup, but not really, honestly. And we actually face now. We actually face in the playoffs right now. Let's see who wins. So after that, after the Blitz Battlers League began, I joined the Bandless Battlers League, and that might have just rang a bell in some of your little dome skulls because that was a league that Pokemon MD joined. Now we were obviously different divisions. I'm not fighting Pokemon MD or something. I was first pick in the Bandless Battlers League. Bandless Battlers League. I remember I forgot that I signed up at all. And then coach reveals were happening. I was like, oh wait, I signed up for this. Oh yeah, let's see this. And I didn't make it in. But they created a whole separate division, and at the time, I was assisting the Teams POW and EPC with their VGC stuff because agency knew I did VGC. So he got me in. At the time, I had already got 17th at the Singapore Premier Ball League. Got freaking RNG'd, man. I could have made top 8. And then I was helping them. They knew me, so they decided to vouch for me. And now I got into the Bandless Battles League. Thank you to the Raid 77 and Orin Latios for that. And I didn't do great. I definitely could have done better. That 4-4, that could have been an 8-0. That 4-4 could have absolutely been an 8-0. Week 1 got RNG'd. Week 2 I got freaking forfeit lost, which I did not do. My opponent could not battle. It should have been an air win for me. But whatever. And then the later 2 battles, I just decided, screw it. I was lazy. I was very, very lazy. Sloppy play, sloppy prep. I had very little fun using Calyrex Ice Rider. I will never use this thing again. That thing was not fun. And maybe I will once I'm better. And Meowscarada, great. Raging Bolt was available, but I got Palafin instead. Which, yeah, some people might be a little bit upset. All the Meow Bolt fans, fuck you. I don't like Raging Bolt. I'm gonna make a confession here. I remember Fierce Flamethrower being like, dude, really? Why did you get Palafin? And I said, I left the wrong picks with the mod. The truth was, I purposely left the wrong picks with the mod, so I could screenshot, send Fierce, and be like, hey, this is what happened, dude. Whoopsies, I guess we're stuck with Palafin. And we also got Thunder Asterion in that league, because of course we did. And this was my first, I think this was my first Terra Thunder Asterion. And then we got Terra Entei. This was Terra King Gambit at first, but I made a bunch of trades. They were very much planned early. Then I did some stuff myself. I got Porygon 2 myself. I wanted a Pokemon that could take a hit from basically anything. Because to me in Ubers that sounds great. And I think that actually makes sense. I still believe that philosophy. I think Porygon 2 made sense. It didn't come often, but it made sense. Mimikyu was kind of the same as Porygon 2, but it was more of a typical Swords Dance sweeper for me, which it was good at that. It got me a full 6-0 win once. Lycanroc Dusk. Lycanroc Dusk was more filling a plan I had. Another plan I had was to spam priority moves. Which I did. I spammed Jet Punch, Extreme Speed, Sucker Punch, Accelerock, Shadow Sneak, and Donphan did not really do shit this league. Donphan, Void of Darkness told me to get Donphan. He said it was valid in Ubers. Maybe I'm just not a good Donphan user, which is fully possible. It probably is likely, actually. Dragalge, I love Dragalge. She didn't do too much in this, but it came twice, and it was okay the times I brought it. I like Dragalge. I just really like Dragalge. I want to get it again. Ubers was a bit of a tough place for Dragalge. It was a tough place for Meowscarada as well. People told me that Meowscarada would just be spamming spikes. I'm just going to say, these are the only 2 leagues I have Meowscarada in. I didn't use spikes once. I'm pretty sure every single week I just use attacking moves. No spikes. Oh, wait. Not just attacking moves. In my quarterfinals game, I brought Sub-Seat Meowscarada because there was a Galarian Weezing. As you can see, I lost, but it was a brutal matchup. Again, another brutal quarterfinals. There was a walking wake and a gouging fire and a everything growled on. So I could have absolutely done way better. I could have. This could have been an 8-0. So next up was DDD. Now DDD is definitely a league that I'm very much affiliated with. I am a moderator in that league. Ryan and Ditto, some of you might know that name. They own DDD. I'd say DDD is when I started getting a little bit better with my stuff. I got Megalatios. I was reluctant to get this from the beginning. I knew Megalatios wasn't exactly a mon it wasn't my type. But I said, alright, we'll just get it. We're probably not gonna have another chance to use this. Iron Treads was next. It just felt like the logical next step. Hisui and Samurott next. Felt pretty. We got a chance to use Hisui and Samurott. And I mean, it fits okay here. I got Thunder Asterion, because of course I did. Ogrepon Cornerstone, again, we brought this back. Ogrepon Cornerstone plus Thunder Asterion with Terrestrialization, both together. I don't think I Terrestrialized Ogrepon once, but I definitely could have at some points. I was just terroring Thunder Asterion every week anyways. Thunder Asterion was so cheap in DDD, by the way. It was so cheap. It was 13 points. Kafagrigas, because I actually really like Kafagrigas from GG Inc. I didn't bring it up because it's not a super significant one, but I like Kafagrigas. Pheasantipity. Pheasantipity was an experiment. I was thinking, let's just experiment with Pheasantipity. Let's see how this goes. And finally, Centiskorch. Centiskorch was more the aura pick or something. I like Centiskorch. And it actually came once. And it would have come twice, but I got a air win. It was meant to come as a Cinderace counter, but it died to Smackdown. My opponent predicted me to bring the Centiskorch. I won that battle, though. It was against a really good player, too, Nim. In fact, DDD is where I started really getting accomplishments. I beat Nim, who I have heard described as better than Agency. DJS. EXE told me that DJS was washed. At the time, I didn't really know DJS at all. Now I know DJS way more. The fuck you mean washed? If this is washed, how good was he before? And shockingly, I was able to win. The DJS win, I think, was definitely a very significant part of this because it got me into a bunch of leagues. It got my name recognized at least a little bit as the man who beat DJS with Reversal Ogrepon Cornerstone. I will say though, DJS scares me. I have no clue what their personality is. As far as I can tell, they have a little bit of humor, but I'm very sure they're a full-grown adult. I don't know how to act around them. I try to be more mature, but I feel like I'm just an annoying kid whenever I'm around. Which, you know what? I can't even blame DJS if he thinks that. I want him to like me, but I don't know if he will. He's definitely not watching this video, and if he is, hi. I don't think he is, though. So, what was after that? Oh yeah, after that was my first loss against Mr. Mosty. Now, Mr. Mosty was a name that I knew from WCB. He was in our division, and he went crazy in the WCB. And I was fully expecting me and Mr. Mosty to battle in either finals or semifinals. But he forfeited. He forfeited in playoffs. That man could have just won the whole thing. But he forfeited in playoffs. He was using Latios really well. And I ended up losing to him in DDD. We had a really, really good battle. It was a great battle. I definitely had some misplays. But hey, we learned from those. And then after that, I lost a free day in week 5, which put me at 3-2, which was dangerous because you need to go 5-2 to make it playoffs. And then I lost in the end to an unwinnable matchup. There was nothing I would change. I got down unbelievably close to winning, but at the same time, it was an unbelievably close but 0% chance to win. Well, not 0, but very, very nigh impossible to win. I had to crit basically. It was a Thunder Asterion versus Mega Scizor. Thunder Asterion was very much chipped. They Bullet Punch. I Terra Blast. I had to crit the Terra Blast to win. I did not. I get Bullet Punch. I lose. It was a super tough battle. Thunder Asterion, however, was absolutely phenomenal throughout the league. It was basically carrying me, especially in my battle against Genesect. And by the way, week 4 versus Genesect was very significant because that's where I got to know Genesect. I was very scared of fighting Genesect. That name, I kind of was like, I know the name. EXE was telling me, that guy, he kind of sucks. I was like, no way, that's not true. Turns out he was right. He's absolutely garbage. He's a smelly piece of shit. Really stinky. Oh, 999, right. 999 was a friend league. So you can see this draft is not exactly great. It was a friend league. I decided to just get stuff that I thought would be fun. Specifically Darkrai, Rotom Heat, Lycanroc Dusk, and Roserade. Those were the 4 fun ones. And it was like a Ubers league, so my first pick was Fluttermane. Fluttermane is carrying me. There's another league that Fluttermane carried me into. The UDL. Which you can see there, I went 8-0. Now, I had 3 air losses. Air wins, sorry. But I'm very much confident I could have won those. This was my first ever VGC draft league, and I think that the team I drafted was absolutely incredible. Fluttermane, Ogerpon Heartflame. There's the return of Ogerpon Heartflame, and this is the one where I don't run Swords Dance. I ran basically the same set every week as well. I had a few changes, but it was Ivy Cudgel, Horn Leech, Follow Me, Spiky Shield for the most part. At some point, I dropped a stab move for Taunt. I think it was Horn Leech that I dropped for Taunt. Oh, it was an air loss that I dropped Taunt. Air Wind, sorry. Thunderous Incarnate, Mega Scizor, which I will say, Mega Scizor was a bit of a disappointment. Torkoal, Porygon 2, Hydreigon, Stonejourner, Mightyena, and why not? I'm not a super big fan of Sun, but I mean I didn't really use Sun too much. Fluttermane was broken. Let's pull up the UDL stats really quickly. Let's pull up UDL stats. Let's go to the Bulwark Division doc. Kill leaders. 21 kills in 11 games. Meanwhile, these guys... Oh, wow, this Diancie has 34 kills in 18 games. This Fluttermane did not get to do all its battles. It only got 5 weeks worth of kills. Imagine I got the full 8 weeks with Fluttermane. Now, would that be about to make it Diancie? I have no clue. I really hope it would be, but it's not. But this is ridiculous. Fluttermane. There was also no terrestrialization, so I was just stuck with basic Fluttermane. No Terra Heartflame either. But it was incredible. I knew I wanted Flutter, Ogerpon, Thundurus from the beginning. Those were my planned first 3, and I got all 3 of them. Thundurus... So the DDD Team Tour taught me one little thing about Thundurus. People don't like it. Apparently people don't draft Thundurus much. Which blew my mind. I think Thundurus is phenomenal, but people don't draft it. I thought it was just singles that people didn't do that. I like Thundurus in singles, but apparently no one likes it. What's wrong with Thundurus, man? Give Thundurus a chance. Hey, this is also moving to Incarnate, not Thunderstarian. Incarnate. Mega Scizor I thought it would be like a solid enough Mega. I knew it wasn't the best in VGC, but holy, it really wasn't the best in VGC. It did not do much for me. Torkoal and Torkoal was pretty okay. I didn't make too much use of Sun, but Torkoal was fine. It definitely was worth getting. It threatened Trick Room. It was a good pick. I was scared it would be too expensive. It wasn't. It was fine. Porygon 2 was great. I liked having Porygon 2 here. I definitely made some cool use out of it. Hydreigon, I was a little bit skeptical about getting Hydreigon. This slot was supposed to be Gastrodon, but I forgot that I was supposed to get Gastrodon earlier, and I didn't. And Gastrodon got sniped kind of close to when I wanted Hydreigon. So I didn't get Gastrodon. We got Hydreigon instead for like Tailwind and stuff. And I was skeptical about how well it would do. And it was definitely underperforming in the early parts of the league. But then in the later half, it started doing a lot more work. And you know what? Good job, Hydreigon. I'm happy for you. Hydreigon did great. Stonejourner? Stonejourner was weirdly pretty damn good. Stonejourner was really nice. I made use of Power Spot. Jesus Christ. Stonejourner was basically... Stonejourner passed the baton to Hydreigon. Mightyena didn't come once. Why not actually did come, but I didn't bring it to battle. I just used it to threaten, because I had a really locked-in plan, so I may as well really scare them with Shadow Tag. And plus, I actually might have brought Wynaut to the battle. I was considering it. There was an Iron Hand and stuff. That sounds like a Wynaut matchup. I almost brought Mightyena, but didn't. UDL definitely taught me some stuff about VGC draft. After my experience with helping the teams PAL, I definitely got some experience. And that experience is going to be useful. So next up, PWC. PWC is my first Wi-Fi league. Now, as far as I know, PWC seems to actually be a pretty underground league. They used to be just a friend league, but I think they only recently came out into the public eye or stuff. And Genesec seems to know the creator of PWC, Tranel. I talked to someone named V, aka Fliss. They said they hated PWC. So far, I kind of like it. It's a very they're very much tight together, so it feels a bit awkward as like just another guy coming in. It's like a guy walking in on two people talking basically. They're very tight together. So you can see my Wi-Fi team. PWC also had probably the wackiest dock. They had Max Point Roaring Moon, Max Point Blaziken, 17 point Ogerpon Heartflame. What? So I started. I'm definitely voting to change stuff. They refused to unban Urshifu. Urshifu is not that good, but whatever. Urshifu really is not that good, and it's not because Rapid Strike failed for me. Rapid is the legal one in PWC. Single is like 1 point higher. Well, it should actually be like 0.5 points higher, but it's either 0 or 1, so 1 point higher. The hell, man? I was talking to Fierce Flame for it. They're like, you can tell this is a Mickey league. I think Mickey is a bit of a stretch. I don't think it's Mickey, but it's a bit of a wacky league in terms of the points. So I decided, let's abuse the point system. We got Dragapult, which thankfully was max points. Oh, yeah. I should probably explain the mag border there. Some of you might... That should have caught your eyes immediately if you don't know PWC. They have a little bit of a weird Terra rule. Their Terra rule is your first pick has to be a Terra Captain. It's going to be your signature Pokemon. And that's a 6-point Terra Captain or less. Magmortar was one of them. I was 15th out of 16th of the overall draft. Magmortar was my pick. I had some options like Avalugg or Magneton, but I chose Magmortar because it felt much easier to use. And I have absolutely zero regrets. Every single person doubted Magmortar, but I think literally this week was the only week it didn't contribute. And it didn't contribute because it didn't have to. My team already won by then. Magmortar didn't need to do anything. Every other week Magmortar cooked. It did so much for me. It's such a good Pokemon. Dragapult, the first guy got skipped, so we ended up getting Dragapult, which was awesome because I do not want Iron Valiant. I really don't like using Iron Valiant. Or at least I didn't at the time. Dragapult, great Pokemon. I was very happy to have one chance to use Dragapult. And then from there, I got next up with Ogerpon Wellspring. It was a little bit awkward to get without Terra, but I feel like 15 points is solid value for their system. 15 point Wellspring was solid. I can't believe Wellspring is 15 and Heartflame is 17. Jesus Christ. But yeah, we got a nice little Wellspring, and it's definitely been performing really nicely in this league. It hasn't technically performed much, but literally every matchup it can. Like, for example, this week. The video's on the channel if you want to see this week's PWC battle. Ogerpon Wellspring could have just swept, but I didn't. Because I didn't have to. I had better plays. Like, going into my Iron Hands. Iron Hands was very much... I was surprised when Fierce Flamethrower told me to get Iron Hands. He told me to get it because it was only 13 points, which, fair enough, Iron Hands is cheap at 13 points. That is a pretty low price. But, damn, Iron Hands is kind of the definition of that build. When I think of the build of Pokemon that are high value but can't really heal well, I think Iron Hands. And that's kind of been its only issue throughout the whole season. I've only brought it twice out of the 6 weeks so far, but it has done so much in those 3 battles. Holy. Enamorus has a little bit of a story. I hate Enamorus. And I hated drafting this. It's not his design or anything. His design is a little bit weird, but I don't hate Enamorus as much as most people. I don't mind her. But oh god, I did not like using it without Terra. I was like, dude, this Pokemon sucks without Terra. After PWC, I'm convinced that non-Terra is better than Terra. Because I do have a Terra and Amorous in another league. Holy shit, that was a mistake. So yeah, and Amorous was actually really nice in like the early parts of PWC. And maybe it'll still be great. It's not that the league is over. Most of these leagues aren't over. It's only been 3 months, for crying out loud. Some of these leagues started less than 3 months, obviously. And Amorous impressed me. Overquill, I was so ecstatic to finally get Overquill. I wanted this Pokemon for so long. You can already smell the Pokemon oozing through. But hey, I wanted, and I was not disappointed. This Pokemon is so much fun to use. I love Overquill so much. It's so good. It's so cool. And I love everything about Overquill. No regrets. Piloswine? Piloswine was pretty much the only thing about this draft that people didn't like. I love my draft in PWC. But Piloswine? People were saying, why would you get Piloswine, dude? Piloswine as your ground, which goes back to that early thing I said about get a good ground. So far, every single draft has had a good ground. Bangless Battlesync had Donphan, which but it was like better than Piloswine. Except that's not true, because Piloswine's goated, and I will prove it to all of you. Piloswine already did stuff this week. This week was Piloswine's off the bench week. It was so good. Jirachi, I was very much curious with Jirachi. So I actually didn't have Jirachi at first. This draft looked a bit different. It was Lycanroc Dusk, Uxie, and I think something else. But someone dropped Jirachi, and I was like, oh, I can finally get my Steel type. So I added Jirachi. I was worried about this draft without the Steel, but now we have Jirachi. And Jirachi's it's pretty much done exactly what it needed to. It hasn't done much, but it's done what it's had to as my Steel type, and that's pretty much all I need. Like, the Kira matchup, holy, imagine the Kira matchup without Jirachi. To be fair, I would have had Lycanroc Dusk with Accelerock. Lycanroc Dusk is definitely a Pokemon I'm comfortable using in draft. Colossal. It came 1 week, but it absolutely could have come to more. It could have come to like 3 matchups so far, but it only came to 1, and it died immediately. But it was funny. You might notice that it's my only Rapid Spinner on this team, which is horrible, but we're fine. Appleton hasn't come yet, but Appleton, I drafted it as my Earthquake Resist. And no, it has nothing to do with PokeMMD. The only thing that it has to do with PokeMMD is its nickname. Every single Pokemon here has a dedicated nickname, by the way. If you want, I guess I can make a video going over all my nicknames. And finally, Milotic. Milotic's like Jirachi. Done exactly what it needed to. I felt like I needed some special defense on this team. I did bring specially defensive Milotic one time to deal with Greninja. It worked. Almost. It almost didn't. But it worked, and that's all that matters. I also just wanted another chance to use Milotic, because again, the GG Inc gang, I need to give it another chance, and I did, and it's been good. It's been solid, and I have no regrets. So next up, DBB. This was a shit show. So the owner of the league, Fagos, told me to ask me if I could edit my videos. I did. I got some really high quality editing for my intros for this, I would say. But DBB started going to shit because scheduling became a huge issue. Just because, I don't know, my opponents weren't really able to schedule with me. So whoops. This is also where Genesect got his revenge on me, and he still almost lost. I'm making me really mean right now. I think a lot has to do with the draft. It's not a bad draft at all, but I'm not comfortable with Terra and Namorous. I don't really like it. Dragapult was great. Dragapult's obviously great. Cinderace honestly wasn't amazing. I really did not like using Cinderace in this. Rotom Wash was great. Scizor, pretty good. Hisuian Quillfish, amazing. It's just a little baby Overquill. Rhydon was a disappointment, but we had to get a ground. And Leavanny was the Sticky Webber. I don't love this draft. I don't love 8-Mon in general. I like 9 to 11 more, or even 12. I don't like 8-Mon as much. DDD was also 8-Mon. My DDD, which is why you can see I had a lot more fun with DDD, because I drafted fun stuff. DBB, I kind of went a little bit more sweaty. And I don't love my draft. I really don't. Which shows in my record. I got a 6-0 win. I think that's my only 6-0 win. But I'm still not happy with it. Next up is a league that I got invited to. But it was more... It's kind of like PWC and WCB. An underground friend league. Although it seems to be big, but it seems to also be an underground friend league. I was invited by a friend called Venuswine. She said that, we got an open slot. You want to join? Fuck yes. So I joined, and I called it the Gardenscapes League. It's called the Garden Draft League, GDL. Name might sound familiar. It's not the same GDL, obviously. But yeah, we got into the Garden Draft League, And I decided, okay, let's go fun with this one. And I went real fun with my draft at first. Iron Valley. So this is another kind of lower tier draft league. Not lower tier draft league. They had a lower tier division. I helped my friend AR get in there, but lower tier Terra. But it's not like super low tier. So I ended up making my Terra captains Espeon, which I assessed as one of the best lower tier Terra captains in all of lower tier. Which I still agree with. It's not like... This league was literally a month ago when it started, I think. Hisuian Electrode. I think this is the point where I started very much being good at Draft League, at least I would say. And Aurorus. Aurorus was because I liked it. I would have got Guzzlord otherwise, but Aurorus I love. One of my favorite Pokemon. Glad I got a chance to use it. I brought it week 1. I lost week 1 because I was an idiot with my clicking. Would have won. But yeah, Iron Valley was the cringe first pick. Round 2 was Megazord X, which you can tell by that this is going to be fun. We got Hisuian Samurott because that's a really fun mod to use, and DDD was on its way to ending. It's already ended by now. Jirachi, we just needed a steal, and also I wanted to get Jirachi again. I wanted to use Jirachi a little bit more. Because PWC, I didn't really feel like... PWC didn't seem like we would be using Jirachi much, so I wanted to get it again. And I have no regrets. Jirachi's been pretty fun in Garden Draft League. Thunderous Terror, because of course I had to. Hisuian Electrode was probably the most hype into most disappointing Pokemon. Which you can see I traded it away. Espeon's been completely fine. She's done what they needed to. Nidoqueen was probably the most cringe pick. Iron Valley is cringe, but Nidoqueen was the cringe. Delmise, which, fun. Aurorus, I love Aurorus. Dondozo was very specific. I got Dondozo pretty much just for Urshifu Single Strike, because I wanted to make fun of the week 1 matchup. I still lost because I clicked wrongly. And finally, Mr. Rhyme was just a fun guy, rapid spinner and everything. I didn't really have good removal here, so I got a second spinner. And also for 2 points, Mr. Rhyme feels decent. But I ended up making a lot of trades in preparation for future matchups. I traded away Dondozo, Hisuian Electro, Nidoqueen, and Delmise, and Mr. Rhyme. Goodbye all of those. We picked up Vaporeon. I wanted to give Vaporeon a try. And I could have got it in PWC, but I got Milotic instead. Which I do think is better. We have Rhyperior, because I noticed something crazy. Terra Rhyperior was legal. In lower tier, 7-point Terra Rhyperior? Are you kidding me? This is a good one in standard open Terra. What do you mean 7 points? So yeah, this thing is absurd. It's also one of those where you have to give specific types, which I realized I should have set for WCB and Garden Draft League. I do like this format of Terra. Miss Magius was Ghost, Electric, and Fairy. Electros was Electric, Steel, and Poison. So Hisuian Electrode was... We'll just go to the original one first. Hisuian Electrode, Fairy, Ice, and Electric. Espeon was Fairy, Fire, and... Fairy, Fire... Okay, actually, was it Psychic? Because I remember the Terra rules for this... some Pokemon could... Depending on the points, some Pokemon had to have their Snap Terra, and yeah, Espeon had Ground, not Psychic. So Espeon was that cheap. Which, yeah, that's why I got Espeon, because it was really worthwhile. Rhyperior was Water, Ghost, Fairy. This thing has 7 points, is ridiculous. And Aurora says Water, Steel, Fairy, and Ground. I can't fit Ground on this dock, but she has Ground. We also got Pecharon. Pecharon was going to be... I got my chance to redeem Pecharon, and I'm very happy with Pecharon on this draft. I'm actually super excited to continue using this thing. And Zarina was... I felt more comfortable with Zarina as a rapid spinner. And it's another Pokemon I gotta redeem. I gotta redeem everything from GG Inc. And finally, Orbeetle. The reason I have Orbeetle was because at the time, so every now and then, I like to rewatch Pokemon in these old leagues. And at the time of this, I was rewatching the WBE Season 5, where he had Gigantamax Orbeetle. And I'm like, hold on, I want Orbeetle now. So I have it. Now you might think, oh, this is just your lower tier Sticky Webber, right? Hell no, this thing was dual screen Hypnosis, which I brought week 4, and I got plans for Orbeetle for the future weeks. Oh boy, Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun with this mono, which means yes, it's not just a one-hit wonder. So next up is PSL. PSL, probably one of the bigger leagues I've joined, which is why I'm disappointed that right now I'm 0-3. And this is also probably my most disappointing draft. Now, this is a Terra Regieleki draft. I'm very disappointed with my draft and my performance. I wish I could have given Shade 1X a better performance because I love the guy, but sadly I wasn't able to do great. I will aim to do much better in the next season. You know, once they move me down the division or two. They put me in the top division because of the DJS win, which I mean, great, but it's not like I can't match up to those guys. I think I can. I have the potential. I almost beat Shade, but I got RNG'd, and then I just stopped caring. Like DJS got his revenge and 6-0'd me with a Terra Ground Glamora. Was that my first 06? No. I got 06 in WCB a long time ago. My only ever loss in the regular season. But yeah, PSL. Oh my god. I really think I can match up against them. I think I can do way better. And while I'm not out of playoffs, I've just kind of lost motivation. Which is why I'm hoping they start the next season really quickly. But yeah, yeah. I hope to give Shade a better performance. Sadly, he's definitely going to drop me by a division. So that sucks. Next up is... Oh, this is the Oras Mogan Tour. I went 1 and 2. I did not really prep much at all. I did not play great, which is it's okay. I would have liked to do well, but I'm okay. It's okay. I'm fine. And then we got another seasonal coming really soon. So GDL next. GDL, I became a moderator of GDL because I got in touch with Genesect, and I'd say we're pretty close to each other. Good acquaintance, good man. He's also very stinky. And GDL is finally the draft that I actually think is better than my WCB one. The WCB draft is so good. It's really good. I still think that's my best draft until GDL. GDL is finally a draft that I think is better. So GDL has a bit less points than average. It has 110 for 9 to 11 Pokemon. And this draft is so good. Iron Valiant, Garchomp, Golden Go, Glamora, Ogerpon, Wellspring. So I was telling myself before GDL began, this is the league I want to get Golden Go Glamora. And I actually did. I was telling everyone, okay, everyone in this division, I am your moderator. You listen to me right now. No one take Golden Go, no one take Glamora. They didn't. I don't think they actually wanted them anyways, but I was able to grab Golden Go Glamora really comfortably. And Terra Ogerpon Wellspring round 5. I almost got Terra Zarude round 5, but Ogerpon Wellspring, it's completely fine. I clearly have experience with Ogerpon Wellspring. I mean, I'm the Ogerpon man. You might also notice a lack of Thunder Asterion. Yeah, no, I'm getting Thunder Asterion soon, don't worry. In the league. Instead, we got Baby Thunder Asterion here. We got Kilowattrel. Serena, Incineroar, and Dusknoir. I'd say the worst part of this draft is that Incineroar is my Dark type. I think the Dark type is very important, almost like a Ground type, almost. But I had to take Incineroar. It was the best Dark left. It was like there was Weavile, but doesn't do what I needed to. It's too much for too little. We just went Incineroar. But honestly, Incineroar's been pretty good, so I actually don't mind it. I'm very happy to get Incineroar. VGC and everything. Woohoo. And also, we're redeeming Zarina again. Zarina getting her chance. Which, honestly, Zarina's been completely fine so far. I'm happy. And finally, the DDD Team Tour for VGC. So DDD Team Tour, I'm part of the Greninja Shurikens. I'll probably make a short little breakdown video of the DDD Team Tour. But, So this is what we got so far for VGC. The 2 VGC guys are me and Skipper the Penguin. Skipper the Penguin actually seems to be really good at VGC, and I'm the Neanderthal who doesn't know what differs Volbeat and Illumise. I mean, I do know, but I don't know why Illumise is a point higher than Volbeat. I did some scrolling for the movesets. I saw Charm and Fake Tears from Illumise and Taunt on Volbeat. There has to be more than just that. I'm definitely missing something. It can't be the stats. There's no way the special attack stat is it. But yeah, you might see these drafts. VGC 1 is broken. Yeah, we won. We won already. And also the team is incredible. So this is the DDD Team Tour is also where me and DJS are together. So I guess I get to learn more about this man. I get to learn more about the chap. I'm a moderator for DDD. I'm allowed to edit the doc, which is fun. So yeah, the Greninja Shurikens Fierce Flamethrower Agency, Boy of Darkness went for 9K, Ryan the owner, Shane 1X, DJS, Mishmesh Seth, me, AR, Skipper the Penguin, and Genhui. Skipper the Penguin went for 6K. That's not too shabby. I mean, I went for 4K. I can't believe you guys took me only for 4K, man. But I mean, it's probably better because we want to get Genhui for cheap. We want AR for cheap. We want our friends. Definitely gonna have to lock in for DDD Team Tour. VGC draft is something I'm still pretty new to. I'm gonna have to. I need to learn.